Hello viewers, I'm Michelle Froese, editor of Windpower Engineering and Development.
And I'm Paul Dvorak, editor of Windpower Engineering and Development magazine. And Michelle just came back from CanWEA in Toronto, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the show. Well, what was the general mood at CanWEA, Michelle?
Thanks, Paul. The mood was good. The show was, well, as a wind advocate, I think I would like to see greater attendance and more numbers in terms of the people there, but the conference sessions were very insightful. And I think there's some great news for Canada. You might have heard this year there was some recent announcements that the country is now 7th in the world in terms of installed wind power capacity. So they have 10,000 megawatts installed. And this is partly thanks to the K2 wind farm in Ontario that came online earlier this year. And it's now providing 100,000 megawatts of power at homes in the area. Ontario has also became the #1 wind provider in Canada, and it has taken all of its coal-fired power plants offline, which is, yeah, it's an advanced news announcement. And Alberta is also following in the footsteps of this and trying to do the same in that province. Some other positives is that Hydro-Quebec had some requests for proposals last year that's brought wind power down to its lowest cost in the country at 6.3 kilowatts per hour. So those are positives for the country.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Is there anything new happening in the industry that was discussed at the conference?
For sure, yeah. So for the first time, CanWEA hosted a panel on operations and maintenance, and this is big for the industry. And in Canada, it's a growing issue. One of the oldest wind power projects in the country now is reaching, I think, over 20 years of age, and that's in South Alberta. It's, I believe, owned by TransAlta. And so operations and maintenance and repairs are issues that are coming up. So some things that were discussed at the panel include just more up-tower maintenance to save on costs when possible, bringing in monitoring software, and also even looking at different components. So gearboxes, those are expected maintenance issues for the most part, but some of the blades are becoming an issue. So icing, depending on the conditions where the blades are and the turbines are, they're looking at more cost-effective ways to maintain them and ensure longevity. So some good news is that CanWEA is actually launching an O&M website next spring. And so this should be something that will provide a resource for those in the industry to be able to go and find new information. And yeah, hopefully that'll help and be very timely.
That's good news. What about new research? Anything new and notable there?
For sure. So there's actually a new study that should be coming out in March of 2016. It's the Pan-Canadian Wind Integration Study, and it's the first research of its kind in Canada that looks at transmission systems throughout all the provinces, and it's also looking at the interconnected systems and the grids throughout the United States. So it looks at both countries, and the study assesses how wind flow levels influence interconnected systems, and so this looks at including transmission constraints, also cycling of generators, even weather conditions. So you can imagine maybe icing on or cold conditions affecting some of the transmission lines. And trying to find a way that we can integrate wind to make it more efficient and to make the grid more efficient and more reliable, not only in Canada but also in the United States. So the study is allowing opening up the dialogue between the two countries to talk about better transmission and wind integration. And it's also the hope in Canada that it will surpass the 10,000 megawatt mark in the country to better, to offer more wind power. And hopefully a study like this can allow people to go make the necessary adjustments on the grid in an efficient manner and a cost-effective manner.
Excellent. Well, that's all good news. Well, thank you for that CanWEA wrap-up. And viewers, if you want more videos like this, tune in to windpowerengineering.com.